Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a little dive into r/Am I the Hole. It is flipping boiling today. Even the sphinxes are like hiding away from blankets and stuff. Normally they love a blanket. They don't even want anything to do with it. They're just kind of like flopped on the floor, bless them. It's so hot. So yeah, my brain might not want to brain today. We're just gonna have to wait and see, aren't we, how this goes. But yeah, if you want to judge some big old gaping holes with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. And of course, quick disclaimer, any opinions that I give on the posts we read are just opinions, not facts, don't need to be taken as such. If you have a different opinion, that is perfectly fine. Do feel free to leave it in the comments below. Just make sure to keep it respectful with each other. There is no need to be mean just because you do not agree. With that being said, let's get into it, shall we? So this first one was posted by Snoo9782. Am I the hole for serving my daughter's friend liver? About a month ago, my daughter, young teenager, had a friend over after school and she decided to stay over for dinner without planning. I called her mother, of course, and made sure that everything was okay and that I would feed and take her home at a certain time. She does this kind of often, and I always enjoy inviting other people's kids into our home and cooking for them. I had been planning to make a Venetian liver dish that day, and thinking nothing of it, I made it and served it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, as you would if that's a normal thing for you to eat. During the dinner, my family all enjoyed the meal as they are used to eating liver, but unfortunately the daughter's friend was a bit caught off guard and really didn't enjoy it. I mean, fair, liver is an acquired taste and texture, to be fair. She didn't make a scene or anything and actually was very polite, but she took one bite and wouldn't take another. I gave her some fruit and some snacks to tide her over until she could eat at home, and everyone's night continued as normal until I eventually drove her home. I've always been a liver lover. That was hard to say. I grew up in northern Italy and liver was just something we ate. My parents cooked liver pretty frequently and it was a very common and popular dish in restaurants, especially in my region, Veneto. In Veneto, liver is not even particularly cheap. It's just something people eat because they enjoy it. It's a delicacy and local pride. In Stoke, where I'm from, it's like steak and kidney pies or puddings are quite popular. We also had like brawn, which was popular, black pudding, which was popular, which obviously it is popular in other places in England, by the way. I'm not saying it's, just for Stoke, but yeah, we had like all sorts of like acquired things like that. But my favourite thing that we have that you can only get in Stoke decently is oatcakes. And no, I'm not talking about those crunchy, crispy things. That is not a proper oatcake. An oatcake is kind of like the flexibility of a crepe, but it's thicker and you put cheese and bacon and all that stuff. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. But anyway, I was getting to a point that I accidentally went off on a tangent for. But also liver and onions was a thing that like people in my family ate a lot. Like my grandparents, I remember my dad eating it a lot. I remember my mum eating it a lot. It was never really for me though, because I don't like the texture of liver, I must say, and it does have a very odd taste to it as well. So I would be on the side of the child's friend with this one. Liver's not for me, but yeah, it's definitely a popular sort of thing to eat where I came from too. Obviously, I understand that some people don't like it. It can be a food you have to get used to first, like coffee or licorice, but it was honestly something I always took for granted and never thought twice about serving to anyone. Anyway, the day after, I got an irate call from the friend's mother about how her kid had come home from my house completely starving, after I had said that I would feed her and only offered her a disgusting liver dish, and that she would think twice about letting my kid stay over again. This came as a shock to me as I honestly hadn't thought it was a big deal, and it really made me think if I was being crazy or an irresponsible parent neighbour by subjecting her kid to eating liver. Am I the hole? I don't think you're the hole for like saying, here, we've cooked dinner, here you go, because the way that the mum, like the kid's mum, is saying that, it's almost as if the rest of them had like a steak and potatoes meal and then they gave her just like offcuts of rancid liver. Like, that's not it. They were all eating that. That's just what they were eating. And she stayed for dinner, completely unprepared, completely last minute. So it wasn't like there was time to make anything else. I think it depends on what the snacks and fruit were and how much of it she had, on whether I would be, you know, maybe a little bit miffed as a parent, like, oh, mate, you could have given me a heads up, or, you know, offered her a sandwich. Because if a kid was at my house and we were having dinner and the kid didn't want to eat what we were having for tea, I'd offer a sandwich or some toast or something just so they weren't going home like hungry. But yeah, I think that depends. Ow! I just smacked the desk. I think that depends, doesn't it? I am all over the place today on whether the OP is the butthole. My goodness. Yep, brain is fart in a colander mode engaged again. Okay then, so down in the comments, Envelope Torture says, not the butthole for serving liver, but you probably could have made sure that she had enough to eat after promising that you'd feed her. Yeah, exactly, that's where I stand. But the bloody kid's mum didn't have to be so rude about the liver, being like, oh, disgusting. Okay, some people like that. Some people, it's like a traditional dish for them. Don't be so rude. Don't yuck other people's yum. It's unneeded. The other parent is absolutely an a-hole for calling it disgusting though. Exactly. Edit. I read in the comments that the OP offered the kids fruit and a sandwich. Okay. So yeah, perfectly fine then. The original post said snacks. I take back my only minor criticism. I mean, yeah, well, perfectly acceptable then, I think, to offer a sandwich. Like, it wasn't even like they were expecting her to stay for dinner, for goodness sake. So, General Relative 2838 then says, not the butthole. I don't like liver, but that's irrelevant. The daughter did the right thing by not making a big issue of it. In fact, everyone in this situation was polite, except your daughter's friend's mother. She acted like a clod. Yeah, she really did. And then Obvious Arrival 2571 says this, that girl's mother is so rude, and honestly, thank goodness her daughter's not taking heed and leading by example, because it sounds like she was pretty chill about it and being like, I just don't like this, and then had something else and happy days, you know, wasn't rude about it. Next post, posted by Wild Delivery 1921. Am I the butthole for refusing to go to dinner after my parents invited my sister and her kids? I, 20M, was supposed to go for a meal with my parents today, just the three of us. I don't often get to spend a lot of time with them because my dad is pretty busy with work, so I was looking forward to it, and also because they were taking me to my favourite restaurant. Ooh, love that. I love that. Whenever my dad comes over, we often will go for either we'll have a takeaway or we'll go for breakfast in the morning at an actual cafe, and he always ends up paying as well, which makes it even better. I always offer, but he's always like, no, I'll get this one. This morning, my mother casually told me that she invited my sister and by default her kids too. And of course she said yes, because she will take any opportunity to dine for free. Hey, listen. I take personal offence to that. My mother told me this like it was no big deal, and I would have no reaction to it. I don't particularly enjoy my sister's company, but it's bearable, so I wouldn't have a problem going to a restaurant with her, but I would be annoyed. My niece, on the other hand, is a different story. My sister has 2 kids, ages a few months and 3. The baby is fine because she can't walk or talk, but my older niece is feral, and I would never invite her anywhere I know I would be because she is not pleasant to be around. I have known a few people with kids like that. Oh goodness, yeah. It's like, they'll be like, oh, do you want to meet up with the kids and do a play date? And I'm like, no. Being in public with her in general is a disaster, but I have been in restaurants with her a couple of times and it has been a nightmare every time. She doesn't stay in her seat and runs around. She sticks her fingers in glasses. Ew. She doesn't even eat the food most of the time and she whines non-stop. See, the running around in restaurants, just letting your kid run around like it's a play area, not okay. Same for cinemas and things like that, not okay. There's a time and the place for everything, and if you know your kid does not sit still in places like that, maybe you need to teach them how to, because yeah, you've got to teach your kids that they can't just run amok in public spaces like that. There are places specifically for running amok, and there's places you need to learn to sit and chill the fuck out. You know, sticking fingers in glasses, that's gross if they're not her glasses. If it's her own glass, I mean, still, it's probably not what you'd call table etiquette, but she's 3, for goodness sake. But yeah, sticking her fingers in someone else's glass by that age, she should at least know not to carry on doing it. If you catch her the first time, be like, no! And then they stop. But, you know, not even eating the food. Kids are kids, man. What gonna tell you? They can tell you they're starving hungry, and you'll put the most delicious looking meal in front of them and they'll go, nah, you know what? I'm not hungry anymore, Mum. Honestly, it'll have you wanting to bang your head against a brick wall, but that's just how kids are, and I certainly do not believe in force feeding them. I do not. I think it causes more issues in the future than needs be. There's just no need for it. You're not teaching them how to regulate their eating. And it's embarrassing because no one wants to be at the table with an unruly child. I told my mother that I thought it was just us 3, and she said she decided to invite them because it would be nice for them. I said I don't want them there and that my niece would ruin it, and she said she couldn't exactly tell them not to come after inviting them, and that I needed to stop complaining because it will be fine. Yeah, if your mum knew already that you don't like to go for food with those kids, you don't want to do that, I mean, why would she invite them? But then again, when it's grandparents, they think the sun shines out of their grandkids' backsides, I swear. I swear. My kids get away with so much with my parents that I would never have gotten away with. Oh my goodness. I would have been grounded for a month and had my backside tanned. Do you know what I mean? Being at a table with my niece is a terrible experience and genuinely would ruin the meal, so I told her I didn't want to go anymore. She thought I was joking, but I told her I wasn't. And if they wanted to go for dinner with my sister, it's fine, but I'm not going. And she said I was being ridiculous. Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think the OP's a bumhole for going I'm not coming, because I don't want to sit down for a meal with them. You know, she's her own person. If she doesn't want to go, she doesn't have to go. The mum, realistically, if they'd have planned just to go them pair and then invited the sister, the mum should have then let her know that, oh, by the way, the kids are going to come, just so you know. Or do you mind if I ask if the kids come? Because it sounds like it was originally just supposed to be purely a get-together for the mum and the OP. So no, I don't think the OP's a butthole. I completely get not wanting to go for food if her kids are really, really naughty, because I would be the same. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would be the same. So, down in the comments, FlyNina3 says, not the butthole. She should have asked you, and the fact that she is blowing off your feelings is not okay. I don't blame you, don't go. And then Ice Seeker says, yeah, the quality time that you're supposed to enjoy with your parents is going to be ruined, so you might as well not go. Honestly, Mum should have told you that she's planning to invite your sister before, not after she agreed to come. The purpose of the dinner is for you and your parents to spend time together, so she should have at least known that there are some changes. It's just the basic courtesy. Exactly. Next post, posted by Remote Diligent 7640. Am I the butthole for refusing to let my ex-wife stay at my house while I'm on vacation with my new girlfriend? Awkward. I, 44M, got divorced recently after a pretty rough marriage. I've been trying to move forward, establish some healthy boundaries, and build a new life. I've also started seeing someone and we're taking a long weekend trip together. A close couple friend of mine was supposed to come with us. The wife is still very good friends with my ex-wife. The issue started because we both have dogs. Their preferred solution was for my ex-wife to stay at my house while I was away and watch my dogs. She would also watch their dog. Why can't she do it at their house then? Like, easy, solved it for you straight away. Problem solved. The thing is, I've done this before. My ex-wife stayed at my house while I was out of town. Every time it seemed to create some kind of issue afterwards. Comments about things in my house, comments about how I'm living, questions about stuff that frankly isn't her business anymore. Nothing huge, but enough where I realised I don't really want to keep doing it. No, fair enough. So this time I said no. I didn't just leave them hanging either. We have a babysitter, pet sitter that we've used for years. She's responsible, knows the dogs, and was willing to help both of us. I thought it was a pretty reasonable solution. My wife's friend wasn't comfortable with that. She only wanted my ex-wife. Sounds like your friend's wife is maybe getting a little someone in her ear going, no, make sure that I can stay in his house. Like, I want to go in there. I want to be nosy. Say no, you know? At that point, they decided to not go on the trip. Now they're upset with me. My buddy basically told me that if the roles were reversed, he'd do whatever it took to make the trip work. He said I was being selfish and that the whole thing was bullshit. Part of their argument is that a few weeks ago we were all together on Father's Day and my ex-wife and I were joking around and being friendly. Fair enough. I had a few drinks and was probably more playful then than I should have been. But being friendly for a few hours at a family event is very different than wanting my ex-wife staying in my house while I'm away with my new girlfriend. Yes, exactly. Also, just because I allowed something before doesn't mean I have to be comfortable with it forever. Sometimes you do something a few times and then realize, yeah, this actually isn't healthy for me. Yeah, I 100% agree. For additional context, my friend knows exactly what happened in my marriage and how difficult the divorce was. That's part of why I'm so surprised by the reaction. What bothers me most is that I actually tried to solve the problem. It wasn't my way or the highway. I found another option. They just didn't like the option. Exactly. So them saying that you're being selfish and acting like you're ruining the holiday, you gave them an option, a perfectly viable option. They also could have had her stay at their house with the dogs if it's such a big thing that they want her. So it seems to me that basically they're in cahoots with the ex-wife, pretty much is how I'm seeing this. And OP might want to reconsider his friendship with these people. I also can't help but wonder if some of this has less to do with the dog and more to do with the fact that my friend's wife is still close friends with my ex-wife and maybe feels conflicted about going on a couples trip with me and my new girlfriend. I don't know if that's true, but it has crossed my mind. It's definitely to do with the friendship, but I don't think it's because of feeling conflicted about going away with the girlfriend. Because they were trying to force it so that the wife could stay in the OP's house so they could go away. Like, they wanted it to happen, but that's how they wanted it to happen. So yeah, no. On the right track, OP, just not quite. So am I the butthole for holding the boundary and refusing to let my ex-wife stay at my house, even though it resulted in my friends cancelling the trip and now being angry with me? Nope, not at all. Edit. Wow, did not expect this to blow up. I posted this during the USA game, watched the game and crashed right after, so I'm just now catching up on comments. I think I addressed most questions with my edit below. A few things I probably should have explained better. The couple lives directly next door to me, so why couldn't she stay in their house? The original plan wasn't for my ex-wife to stay at their house. The plan was for her to stay overnight at my house, watch my dogs, and then walk next door to take care of their dog. Their dog is very old, very small, and deaf, so I do understand why they were worried about someone unfamiliar watch him. I don't think that's unreasonable. I do, because also, if that's the case, surely they would want her to stay in their house. Because their dog's more vulnerable. Like, what? That said, the person I suggested wasn't a random stranger. She's a babysitter, pet sitter we've used, and someone we trust. She knows our dogs and is willing to help us with both houses. My ex-wife also lives about 5 minutes away, so there were other possible arrangements besides her staying overnight in my home. She could have checked multiple times a day, or they could have worked something out directly with her. Another wrinkle is that my wife is currently watching her mother's dog, and that dog has snapped at my neighbour's dog before, so the situation wasn't quite as simple as just have my ex-wife watch the dog. One thing I also didn't mention is that my ex-wife and I have children together. This isn't just a house to me, it's also my kids' home. Part of moving forward after the divorce has been creating healthier boundaries around what is still shared and what isn't. For those saying I'm being inconsistent because I've allowed my wife to stay at my house before, that's actually part of the reason I said no this time. Oh, bollocks. It's not being inconsistent because you've done it before and now you're saying, look, this is toxic and I don't want to do it anymore. It is perfectly fine and human to think that something might work, try it, maybe even a couple times, then go, no, this doesn't work for me. You are allowed to do that. It's such bollocks when people say that, like, you are allowed to try things. Like, it doesn't mean that you're inconsistent or flaky because you find out that something that you've tried isn't actually working for you and is probably actively working against you. That is totally okay. After doing it previously, I realised it wasn't healthy for me. It blurred boundaries that I'm trying to establish as I move forward. Just because I was okay with something before doesn't mean I have to keep being okay with it forever. Honestly, the internet will hear you say, I don't know, McCoy's crisps once, and then if they ever see you eating a pack of different crisps ever again, you're a traitor, you're disgusting, how dare you? You said your favourite was McCoy's, you lied. Do you know what I mean? It's like crazy, crazy. The internet doesn't seem to do nuance at all. And we can all be guilty of black and white thinking, but oh, it is crazy out there. Another reason I had to get off socials and delete it all, because I just found it so aggravating. I wasn't trying to stop them from going. In fact, I spent time trying to find another solution because I genuinely wanted them there. I just wasn't willing to make the solution to be my ex-wife staying overnight in my house. Yeah, that's fair enough. Absolutely fair. Like, don't make people make you feel like you can't change your mind or even contradict yourself sometimes. We are weird little creatures, us human beings, and the way we feel about something one day may completely change the next. You know, we are just walking contradictions half the time, let's be honest. Like, we can be very much like that, you know, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're being like the bad guy in there or whatever, or, you know, you can't have that because you let it happen before. You can't say no now. You can. You definitely can. So yeah, don't worry, OP. I get why. I get it. And I don't think you're the butthole at all. When you got kids as well, you try things just to see what will work in a co-parenting relationship, and some things just don't work. And it is what it is, you know? I would definitely reconsider this friendship though, because it sounds to me like they are going to be... Because it sounds to me like they are going to be something that, you know, gets in the way of this boundary setting, that gets in the way of this, that gets in the way of what OP's trying to do right now with setting healthy boundaries in the co-parenting relationship. Yeah, maybe it's time to step back from that friendship a tad, I would say. So, down in the comments, Decline to Throw Away says, so, why can't your wife pet sit at their house with their dogs and you get your own sitter? Exactly. And then Chapter 1-2 says, my thought exactly. The dogs don't have to be together, and it sounds like the friends are being less understanding of your situation. And then Able Transition 5049 says, they insisted on his ex being in his house when there was a perfectly good alternative. So weird. And that's why I think that they were having a little someone whittering in their ear. And then Helios O says, why didn't they offer to let your ex-wife stay at their place with the dogs? And then Gold Challenge 6437 says, exactly. Sorry to say, but these people aren't friends. No true friend would be so pushy about something that is unhealthy and honestly none of their business. They can have whoever they want watch their dog at their house. I wouldn't be comfortable with an ex in my space going through my things. They shouldn't be telling you what to do in your own home. F that. Exactly. I wouldn't want my exes circling through my stuff. No, thank you. I've got literally nothing of particular interest in my house, really. But still, it's just an invasion of privacy, isn't it? It certainly would feel that way. And I know obviously the OP says that wife is looking after her mother's dog as well, which has snapped at the neighbour's dog, well then, sorry neighbours, you're going to have to figure something else out. Like, I'm not bending on this. This is just the way it's going to have to be. You're going to have to sort something else out. This should not be on the OB to make themselves uncomfortable just to make things easier for them. No, absolutely not. Okay then, so I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the Governor Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Don't forget to leave an offering of a comment for Big Al. Bye!